during the Rooms to Go holiday sale. It's 4 a.m. The sun's not up yet, but your news leader is. News Channel 5 this morning, the official news of morning people. Thank you for making News Channel 5 #1 at 6 p.m.
Breaking news. A gunman opens fire near a Planned Parenthood clinic in Colorado. Police and civilians have been injured. Also tonight, severe storms turn deadly. There's flooding in Texas, snow and ice in the plains. The man charged with jumping the White House fence left a suicide note. And Steve Hartman's on the road with the twins.
This is the CBS Evening News with Scott Pelley.
Good evening. Scott is off tonight. I'm Elaine Quijano. We begin with breaking news in Colorado, where a gunman opened fire at a Planned Parenthood clinic in Colorado Springs. At least 9 people have been taken to hospitals. 4 of the injured, possibly a 5th, are police officers. At this hour, the scene is still described as active. Police have been exchanging fire with the gunman, who is holed up inside the clinic. It is believed he brought bags, possibly containing devices, with him. Barry Peterson is in Colorado Springs. Barry?
Well, at this point, Elaine, the situation is still a standoff. Police are trying very hard to bring this to an end, but the shooter is still in the building. He's holed up, and he's still firing at police. 911 call came into police just before noon in Colorado Springs.
01, multiple shots fired, automatic gunfire coming from the building.
As the gunman approached the Planned Parenthood clinic, sources tell us he immediately shot several officers, including responding SWAT team members. It was the beginning of a long afternoon as police searched for the shooter. The surrounding buildings were placed on lockdown, and people at a nearby shopping center were told to shelter in place. Police spent hours clearing people from the area. Lieutenant Catherine Buckley of the Colorado Springs Police Department.
We do have officers that are actively engaged with the individual inside the building at this point. They have been taking some gunfire.
Police received 911 calls from people inside the Planned Parenthood building, hiding in bathrooms and closets, as they could hear the gunman walking by. Joan Montalina was talking by phone to his sister inside the building. He could hear the gunfire.
There was some guys shooting.
Did she see him?
Yeah.
What did she say about him?
Yeah, she was hiding.
Police shut off surrounding streets for miles. For hours, the gunman and police remained in the building exchanging gunfire while people once trapped came out one by one.
To our knowledge, this individual was at the Planned Parenthood building and not had gone into any other businesses.
So the situation now, we're told, could go on for no one knows how long. The shooter is in there. As you mentioned, Elaine, he brought some supplies with him, apparently planning to stay for a long time. The Planned Parenthood building has bulletproof glass, and that is making it harder for police to get at this shooter, which at this moment, it's still unfolding.
Barry Peterson on the scene there in Colorado Springs. Barry, thank you. Jeff Pegues is in our Washington newsroom. Jeff, what else can you tell us?
Well, Elaine, our sources are telling us that police are trying to get a better idea of what's happening inside that building. The fear is that there may be more injured inside or even fatalities as well. A source just telling me that the suspect cornered some of the civilians who were trying to flee that building, so that the main concern right now for law enforcement that has set up this perimeter around that building is trying to get a better sense of what's happening inside. And there is, of course, further complications with this idea that maybe this gunman set some sort of booby trap, because sources are telling us that propane tanks were found in the gunman's car. Elaine?
Jeff, while we don't yet know a motive in Colorado, we understand the FBI issued a warning about possible attacks on clinics.
Well, that's right. For several months now, law enforcement has been concerned about people targeting reproductive health care facilities, specifically Planned Parenthood locations across the country. As we first reported in September, an FBI intelligence bulletin went out to law enforcement agencies nationwide with that warning. It came as Congress was debating Planned Parenthood funding and on the heels of the release of a series of videos by the Center for Medical Progress that purported to show Planned Parenthood doctors discussing the harvesting of fetal tissue from abortions. The intelligence bulletin warned of, quote, lone offenders using tactics of arsons and threats, all of which are typical of the pro-life extremist movement. At that time, there had already been 9 criminal or suspicious incidents in 7 states and the District of Columbia. In one incident in August, someone poured gasoline on a Planned Parenthood security guard's car and set that vehicle on fire. That was in New Orleans in August. And according to the FBI, there was another incident in July in Aurora in which someone poured gasoline around the entrance of a Planned Parenthood facility there, also causing a fire. But Elaine, if the gunman's motive was some sort of attack on Planned Parenthood, this is a tactical escalation, which is unprecedented.
All right, Jeff Pegues in Washington for us. Jeff, thank you. Late today, the New York City Police Department announced it was sending critical response vehicles to Planned Parenthood clinics throughout the city as a precaution after the Colorado Springs attack. Another big story for much of the nation is severe weather. A band of storms stretching from the southwest to the northeast is dumping snow, ice, and rain. Floods killed at least 4 people in Texas, where we find Manuel Bojorquez.
More than 6 inches of rain flooded parts of the Dallas-Fort Worth area, prompting rescues. Firefighters in the suburb of Garland responded to calls from people stranded in cars, like this one. Battalion Chief George Winton.
This person actually called 911 while he was in the vehicle, saying that the car was filling up with water, and then we lost contact with him after that.
The line went
dead.
That caller was one of at least 4 people who drowned in Texas. Near Fort Worth, even a deputy had to be rescued after she tried unsuccessfully to save an elderly woman trapped in a car. The same system dumped snow across much of the nation's midsection, from Colorado to Iowa. In parts of Kansas, a mix of ice and snow made driving treacherous. Conditions could worsen in parts of the southern plains, including the Texas Panhandle, where up to an inch of ice could accumulate on the roads this weekend. Rain is in the forecast through Sunday here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. This has already been the wettest year on record in Texas, so any additional rain will likely cause more street flooding like this. Elaine?
Manuel Bojorquez reporting tonight. Manuel, thank you. In Chicago today, as many as 2,000 demonstrators gathered downtown, urging people not to shop to protest the fatal shooting of an African-American teenager by a white officer. Michelle Miller is following this.
Behind the door! Shut it down! Behind the door! Shut it down! Protesters braved rain and near freezing temperatures to block storefronts along Chicago's famed Magnificent Mile shopping district.
We do this for the crime!
They hope to quash holiday spending, outraged by what they say was the city's corrupt handling of the investigation into the shooting death of 17-year-old Laquan McDonald by a white police officer. Reverend Jesse Jackson helped lead today's march.
We're using our votes, our marching feet, and building coalitions. Black Lives Matter here.
This store is closed! Some shoppers expressed support despite the disruption.
I think it's those people's right to protest, and I support their freedom to do that.
16 shots, 14 months! Demonstrators want authorities to explain why it took 13 months to release dash cam video of the incident. McDonald was shot a total of 16 times in less than 15 seconds. Officer Jason Van Dyke had been on paid administrative duty until Tuesday, when he was charged with first-degree murder.
The vice president with the retail group for the Magnificent Mile acknowledged there was revenue loss from today's protests. He said retailers intend to make up for it throughout the holiday season.
Michelle Miller reporting. Michelle, thank you. The 22-year-old Connecticut man who jumped the White House fence as the first family celebrated Thanksgiving was ordered to undergo a psychiatric evaluation today. Joseph Caputo is charged with illegal entry. Craig Boswell has more.
In court today, Joseph Caputo did not enter a plea. He merely turned to his mother and mouthed the words, "I love you." Yesterday, draped in an American flag, the 22-year-old scaled the north fence of the White House complex before raising his arms to surrender to the Secret Service. The president and the first family were home at the time celebrating Thanksgiving. The breach led to a 3-hour lockdown at the White House. Caputo carried a binder in his teeth. He dropped an envelope on the north lawn, which was later determined to be harmless after law enforcement swept the area. Court documents say the Stamford, Connecticut resident left a suicide note with friends that read in part, "Death is a natural part of life." In 2011, a news website profiled Caputo when he was a member of his high school's diving team. It reported Caputo had Asperger's syndrome, a form of autism. "I don't feel Asperger's should be an excuse," he told the website. "I feel I should work hard to equate with other kids and then rise above." Earlier this year, the Secret Service added spikes atop the White House fence intended to deter would-be fence jumpers. Elaine, the service is working on a permanent security solution for the fence, but has not yet presented a plan.
Craig Boswell at the White House for us tonight. Craig, thank you. In Europe, 2 more men are in custody tonight, one in Belgium, one in Germany, on suspicion of being involved in terrorist activities. It is not clear if either man is suspected of playing a role in the Paris attacks. Today, France paid homage to those killed 2 weeks ago. Deborah Pata has that.
This magnificent 17th century military hospital has seen many a French war hero being honored. But today, those being remembered represented a very different frontline.
Fanny Minot, 29 ans.
They were daughters and sons.
Nicolas Catina, 37 ans.
Parents and friends.
Justine Moulin.
All victims of the mass killings by ISIS in Paris 2 weeks ago.
24 ans.
Franck Pitiot, 23 ans.
It took 10 minutes to read their names one by one, 130 in all. Then a moment of silence. French President François Hollande spoke of a nation in mourning, but one that would remain focused on its war with ISIS.
Je vous promets.
I promise you solemnly, he said, that France will do everything to destroy the army of fanatics who carried out these crimes. In neighboring Belgium, the country is emerging from a 4-day lockdown. The annual Christmas market, a major tourist attraction in Brussels, opened today, but it did not draw the usual crowds. Despite the flurry of arrests today, Elaine, Europe's most wanted men, Salah Abdeslam, a key suspect in the Paris attacks, and the man who was photographed with him, Mohamed Abrini, continue to evade police.
Deborah Pata reporting from Brussels for us tonight. Deborah, thank you. To politics now. Republican presidential candidate Ben Carson flew to Jordan today to visit camps housing Syrian refugees. Carson has criticized President Obama's plan to admit 10,000 Syrians in the next year. GOP frontrunner Donald Trump, meanwhile, is under fire after appearing to mock a reporter's disability. Here's Nancy Cordes.
Trump insists he didn't know that New York Times reporter Serge Kovaleski suffers from a physical disability that limits the movement of his arms. But it sounded like Trump knew him when he said this in Myrtle Beach Tuesday night.
Written by a nice reporter. Now the poor guy, you got to see this guy. Oh, I don't know what I said. I don't remember.
The Times said it was outraged that he would ridicule the physical appearance of one of our reporters. Trump replied, "I merely mimicked what I thought would be a flustered reporter trying to get out of a statement he made long ago. I do not know what he looks like." But Kovaleski told the Times, "Donald and I were on a first-name basis for years," back when Kovaleski covered Trump for the New York Daily News. Trump had used one of Kovaleski's articles from 2001 to try to bolster his debunked claim that he saw thousands of Muslims cheering on 9/11.
Law enforcement authorities detained and questioned a number of people who were allegedly seen celebrating the attack.
But Kovaleski said this week those allegations were never proven and that he doesn't recall anyone saying there were thousands or even hundreds of people celebrating. That's what set Trump off.
He's going like, I don't remember. Oh, maybe that's what I said. This is 14 years ago. They didn't do a retraction.
Trump isn't apologizing. In fact, Elaine, he said Kowalewski should, quote, stop using his disability to grandstand.
Nancy Cordes reporting for us. Nancy, thank you. The force is with shoppers this holiday season. Star Wars is setting new records at the malls when the CBS Evening News continues.
It takes a lot of work to run this business. I'm on the move all day long. And sometimes I just don't eat the way I should. So I drink Boost to get the nutrition that I'm missing.
Boost Complete Nutritional Drink has 26 essential vitamins and minerals, including calcium and vitamin D to support strong bones, and 10 grams of protein to help maintain muscle, all with a great taste.
I don't plan on slowing down anytime soon.
Stay strong, stay active with Boost. Now try new Boost Compact and 100 calories.
Take ZzzQuil and sleep like the kids went to Nana's house for the whole weekend. ZzzQuil, the non-habit-forming sleep aid that helps you sleep easily and wake refreshed, because sleep is a beautiful thing.
Well, DirecTV beat us in customer satisfaction again for the 15th year in a row. But we have a plan.
When our customers are on hold, let's up their satisfaction with some new hold music.
That's Glenn from the mailroom. He DJs on the weekends. Sorry, who is it? It's Glenn from the mailroom.
He DJ'd Bill's wedding.
You what?
He goes by DJ Glenn. He works way downstairs.
What do you say? Glenn from the mailroom.
Get rid of cable and upgrade to DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV.
At Voya, we can help you organize your savings and investments. So when you retire, you'll have orange money set aside for all the things you want, like traveling, volunteering, or simply spoiling your grandkids. Start today, be ready tomorrow. Get organized at Voya.com.
What you doing?
Just prepping for my boss's party in a couple weeks.
What are those?
Crest white strips. They whiten way better than paste.
Crest 3D White Strips whiten 25 times better than a leading whitening toothpaste.
Someone's making quite an impression.
This holiday season, select Crest White Strips are buy one, get one free.
Nexium 24 Hour is the new #1 selling frequent heartburn brand in America.
I hope you like it spicy.
Get complete protection with the purple pill, the new leader in frequent heartburn. That's Nexium level protection.
Black Friday drew plenty of shoppers to stores, though more people are looking for bargains online. So what are they buying? Here's Jerika Duncan.
The day after giving thanks comes the taking. Best Buy handed out tickets to avoid any pushing and shoving as televisions and tablets went fast. The nonstop ad campaign for the new Star Wars trilogy is bleeding into Black Friday. Since its inception, the franchise has made billions in merchandising fees. It's now expected to have the force to break more records. Overall, holiday sales are forecast to reach an all-time high of $630 billion. $93 billion of that will be spent online, up 13% from 2014. But Black Friday, known as the official start to the holiday shopping season, may have passed its prime. This, according to retail analyst Chris Christopher.
It's still one of the most important days. Retailers can't dismiss it. They still have to, have a Black Friday strategy. However, it's just not as intense as it used to be.
CEO Jerry Storch of Hudson's Bay Company, which owns Saks Fifth Avenue and Lord & Taylor, says Black Friday still remains the premier shopping day of the year.
And so you'll see these sales all throughout November that are called Black Friday sales, but they're not really Black Friday. The sales are not as deep, and the customer's not ready to go shopping. Those are all the preseason. This is the first game of the season. This is the start of the holiday period.
Some retailers admit, Elaine, that because of a warm fall, they have an excess of winter apparel that they're hoping to sell very soon.
Jerika Duncan reporting for us. Jerika, thanks. Coming up, On the Road with Steve Hartman.
I know how it is. You're all set to book a flight using your airline credit card miles. And surprise, those seats sometimes cost a ridiculous number of miles, making it really hard to book the flight you want. Luckily, there's a better way. With the Capital One Venture Card. With Venture, you'll earn unlimited double miles on every purchase every day. And when you're ready to travel, just book the flight you want on any airline, then use your miles to cover the cost. Now you're getting somewhere. What's in your wallet?
When you've got a house full of guests on the way and a cold with sinus pressure, you need fast relief. Alka-Seltzer Plus Severe Sinus Congestion and Cough Liquid Gels rush relief to your tough symptoms to put you back in control.
Coming.
Alka-Seltzer Plus Sinus.
Sleep. Remember when it welcomed you like a friend? Then it became more elusive. But why? When you have insomnia, it may affect the wake neurotransmitters in your brain, disrupting your wake and sleep messages. Belsomra is a prescription medicine for adults who have trouble falling or staying asleep. Belsomra is thought to help turn down wake messages by targeting and inhibiting the action of orexin, a neurotransmitter that plays a central role in sending wake messages. Only Belsomra works this way.
Do not take Belsomra if you have narcolepsy. When taking Belsomra, don't drive or operate heavy machinery until you feel fully awake. Walking, eating, driving, or engaging in other activities while asleep without remembering it the next day have been reported. Belsomra should not be taken together with alcohol. Abnormal behaviors may include aggressiveness, confusion, agitation, or hallucinations. The temporary inability to move while falling asleep or waking up and temporary leg weakness have also been reported. In depressed patients, worsening depression, including risk of suicide, may occur. Alcohol may increase these risks. Side effects include next-day drowsiness.
Sleep. Ask your doctor about Belsomra.
You get used to sweaty odors in your car. You think it smells fine, but your passengers smell this. Eliminate odors you've gone nose blind to for up to 30 days with the Febreze car vent clip. Break out the Febreze and breathe happy.
We've grown up with be on your best behavior.
Now our parents need to practice what they preach. Caulk the air leaks around windows, pipes, ducts, and doors.
If you don't, it's like leaving a window open 24 hours a day.
Energy Star rating windows let the light in but keep the heat and cold out.
And don't forget to have plenty of ventilation in your attic.
It can help you save up to 20% on your electric bill.
Change your energy behavior.
Contact your local power company.
With an update on the attack on a Planned Parenthood clinic.
I have asthma, one of many pieces in my life. So when my asthma symptoms kept coming back on my long-term control medicine, I talked to my doctor and found a missing piece in my asthma treatment.
Once daily Brio prevents asthma symptoms. Brio's for adults with asthma not well controlled on a long-term asthma control medicine, like an inhaled corticosteroid. Brio won't replace a rescue inhaler for sudden breathing problems. Brio opens up airways to help improve breathing for a full 24 hours. Brio contains a type of medicine that increases the risk of death from asthma problems and may increase the risk of hospitalization in children and adolescents. Brio is not for people whose asthma is well controlled on a long-term asthma control medicine, like an inhaled corticosteroid. Once your asthma is well controlled, your doctor will decide if you can stop Brio and prescribe a different asthma control medicine, like an inhaled corticosteroid. Do not take Brio more than prescribed. See your doctor if your asthma does not improve or gets worse.
Ask your doctor if 24-hour Brio could be a missing piece for you.
See if you're eligible for 12 months free at mybrio.com.
Salonpas salutes you. People working hard to improve the world. You inspired us to improve these. Salonpas pain relieving patches. 20% larger with better adhesion and more medicine to fight pain than ever before. Salonpas, the patch you love, improved.
Want bladder leak underwear that moves like you do? Try Always Discreet underwear and wiggle, giggle, swerve, and curve with soft dual leak guard barriers and a discreet fit that hugs your curves. So bladder leaks can feel like no big deal. Get your free pair and valuable coupons at alwaysdiscreet.com.
Believe it. AT&T and DirecTV are now one, which means you can watch in the house, in a tree house, or even in Miss Pepper Pie's house. Pause in your PJs and hit play during a PB&J. Nice! And enjoy some cartoons instead of listening to Dad's cartoons.
Meet you all the way.
Get the best of both worlds. DirecTV at home and 2 wireless lines from DirecTV and AT&T.
I use artificial tears often. But when my eye doctor said I had a disease, that got my attention.
You have a disease called chronic dry eye, caused by reduced tear production due to inflammation. You need Restasis, cyclosporin ophthalmic emulsion. Artificial tears give temporary relief, but with continued use, 1 drop in each eye twice a day, every day, Restasis helps increase your eye's natural ability to produce tears, which may be reduced by inflammation due to chronic dry eye. Restasis did not increase tear production in patients using anti-inflammatory eye drops or tear duct plugs. To help avoid eye injury and contamination, do not touch the vial tip to your eye or other surfaces. Contact lenses should not be worn within 15 minutes of using Restasis. The most common side effect is a temporary burning sensation.
Call your eye doctor to get screened and ask about Restasis.
If you have high blood pressure like I do, many cold medicines may raise your blood pressure. That's why there's Coricidin HBP. It relieves cold symptoms without raising blood pressure. So look for powerful cold medicine with the heart. Coricidin HBP.
Well, we've had temperatures around 70 on this Black Friday, but a cold front is headed our way. I'll tell you when it gets here at 6.
Updating our top story, our Jeff Pegues has just spoken to law enforcement officials who say the suspect in the Colorado Springs Planned Parenthood shooting has surrendered to police. This gunman had been exchanging fire with police for several hours. At least 9 people were hurt when that suspect stormed the building. Police have no motive for the attack. That is the CBS Evening News for tonight. For Scott Pelley, I'm Elaine Quijano. Thank you for watching. Good night.
Now with breaking news. This is News Channel 5 at 6.
That breaking news, Andrew Slingsby, a Florida teen visiting Franklin, missing since last Saturday, has been safely located. Franklin police tell us a Franklin resident on a layover in an Atlanta Greyhound bus station recognized the teen and called police. We're told Slingsby boarded a bus that took him to Huntsville, where police located him at the home of a family he had just recently met. The family did not know the teen's age or that he had been reported missing. And we continue to follow breaking news out of Colorado. The standoff continues as police try to stop a gunman who opened fire on officers inside a Planned Parenthood location in Colorado Springs. We do know 4 officers have been wounded.